Okay. Good morning. Not sure why the last one crashed like that, but it did, so we're here. Um, all right, let's see if I can put everything back together. I think it might be because I tried to change my stream settings as far as the output, and I don't know if maybe my computer just went kaput, which it shouldn't. I have 64 gigs of RAM, and I keep NinjaTrader as the highest priority. So I'm not sure what was up with that, but I went back to my old settings, but hopefully it's still showing in 1080p. All right, so quick synopsis, you guys can see we're down on each account. I've taken 4 trades, one loss, 3 break evens. Um, the market is so slow, which really sucks right now, to be honest with you. Um, Part of me wants to stop trading. But I don't. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm hoping that the high impact news that just came through shows a little more volatility because, again, I trade on Renko bars, but I show my charts on 5 second charts. Sometimes I'll show it on 10 second charts because it's really easy to see structure that way, especially because a lot of people use time based candles. But yeah. So let me go back and show the trades that I took so far. All right, so this was the first trade. This was a regular pullback, but I told you guys I have certain parameters that will cause me to go ahead and break even. This is one of them. And as you guys can see, I would have actually lost had I not broken even. I believe it was Monday or yesterday, one of the two. One of those that hit those that same parameters would have broken even, and the other one would have actually won. But today they would have lost. So that one was the first one I broke even. Then I tried to get into a mid-level pullback sale because even though my overall bias was a sell, the minor trend was a buy, my mid-level was still a sell. So I was trying to get in there. You guys can see I was immediately stopped out. So we started pushing up again. Tried to get back in for the buy. And this is not just being a degen and just pressing buy and sell. All of these hit my actual rules for my setup. This one I got into, however, I hit my major level here. And remember, overall, my overall bias was a sell at the time. So when it hit my major level, I went ahead and I broke even. And so I lost like 2 ticks off of that. But I went ahead and just from slippage, but I broke even, and you guys can see I actually would have lost had I not done that. Then coming back through right after everything crashed the first go round, I got into another trade shortly after news hit. This was, excuse me, a reversal pattern here. But I had to break even because, again, that same pattern went ahead and painted, and I would have lost if I would have stayed in it because it only went, what is this, about four and a quarter points in my direction, but I go 5.25 to get to my TP. So that's where we're at right now. What I might end up having to do later on today, I might have to really back test to see, like, okay, the week before Christmas, when volatility is just extremely low, do I still trade? Do I not? And then I know this weekend going to back test like basically from the day after Christmas to New Year's to see what the volatility typically looks like and if it's enough for my particular strategy and setup. And we'll just go from there. I'm not in a huge rush to pass my accounts. I've been basically utilizing these same accounts for a while now. I was going to get into that buy, but this level is pretty weak right here, so I'm not going to. And typically, if I see a weak level, but it still bounces from the VWAP, I'll still, a lot of times it will still work out, but I would rather just not. But yeah, so I'm interested to see how my strategy is going to, and that was a pin bar anyway, so I wouldn't have gotten in. I'm interested to see how my strategy is going to perform for the rest of the week. I typically don't pay attention to, I don't backtest during like these time. I backtest my strategy in the more volatile months and like the intermediate volatility type of months, and then just hope for the best when it comes to when things slow down around the holidays. My strategy worked perfectly fine around Thanksgiving, so we'll see. But I know the Christmas volatility is way different. Way different. Different beast. So we'll see. So we'll just have to see what happens here. This could be a nice 1 bar pullback. See what happens. The thing I don't like about this is there's no. Actually, not gonna get into that buy. Just because the volume is kind of like going back and forth. Let's see. Yeah. This is just literally like watching paint dry. Market was pretty slow last week too, and I still was able to get pretty good trades in. So excuse me. All right, so we got 15 minutes till low impact news. Which for me, so the way that I treat the different news events for low impact news, for all three, low, medium, and high impact, I stop trading 7 minutes before the news event. However, so if I'm in any active trades at the time, I will stop 7 minutes beforehand. For the low and medium impact news, though, I will restart trading and stop 1 minute beforehand. For high impact news, I do not restart. I stop 7 minutes before and I wait to resume until after the news event. For low impact, I restart 1 minute after news. Medium and high, I restart 2 minutes after. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I wonder what this trade is going to do. I don't want to trade it because one thing I didn't like about it. I would have taken profit. I'm cool with that. That particular thing that happened, that's something that I can't see often in the back test, which is really hard. But I had a feeling that it was going to be fine. And it was. I'm okay with that though. We just broke through the current high. It was previously 46, so we just pushed through another 5 ticks. Not going to trade divergence off of it only because we had a push off of the VWAP, but I was looking at this last night and the VWAP shouldn't matter when I'm taking my divergence trades at the new highs and lows, but for safety purposes, I would rather just stay out and make sure, especially since I'm already down on each account for the day. So I'd rather be safe than sorry. And it looks like that was a good call. Let's see. That would have been the entry. Would have came close to the stop loss, but not stopped out just yet. The stop loss would be at 43.25. Am I tripping? Close. Or 42. I hate when I draw this that way. Yeah, 43.25, which it just hit just now. Or no, it hit 43. And And it just hit. Yep, that would have stopped me out. So I'm glad that I did. I didn't take that and I just went with my first mind. My biggest goal is just to mitigate losses. That's what's most important for me. What I want to do is look. And I am exhausted. I'm not tripping. Okay. All right, so creating new highs again. See how far we push up. Depending on how far we push up and the volume of the push, I will likely get into a sell, but not yet. Man, this is gonna be brutal. Being tired and having super choppy, low volatility markets is not a good combination. goodness. Still waiting on more of a push up before I get into a sell, if I get into a sell. All right, my entry for a sale currently is 44.25, but that can move depending on if we continue up a little bit. If there is a reversal down, I'm hoping it happens before the VWAP. I was looking into my divergences off the VWAP last night. I think I figured out how to take them pretty similar to how I take them off of the new highs and lows, but it doesn't happen a lot, so it's kind of hard to thoroughly backtest it. I went through like I think a month's worth of data, and if it doesn't set up a lot in like a month's worth of time, it's kind of hard to say, but we'll see. Let's just see what happens. The line here would be my entry for a sell. I still don't know what that noise is. I hear that noise every so often. It's an alert somewhere in probably one of my indicators. I don't know. Oh, as a matter of fact, no entry right now because I just realized what time it was and news is coming again. All right, I am going to enter a sell. My entry keeps moving. don't want to happen is the sale happens right above the VWAP, and then I'm going to end up having to break even, set my stop loss, move my stop loss to break even once it hits the VWAP. Right now, it'll close below it. I mean, it's just going. Right now, my entry is 63.25, just down here. Hopefully there's enough volatility for me to be able to stay in the trade. Alright, I'm going to stay in. And we'll see what happens. Put this here. Volatility is just not there. Once the holidays are over, you guys will be able to see how quickly I'm typically in and out of trades. This is just brutal to watch. It's one of the reasons why I became a scalper, because I just feel like the longer you're exposed to the markets, the more chances you have for the market to go against you. So I like to just get in and out, you know. Getting a little push down. There we go. All right. So down $25 to $35 on each account right now. That trade took about 2 minutes to take profit. I'm used to like 7 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute max. Once I get past a minute and a half, I'm like, I was just hoping that VWAP held right there. All right, so the only way I'm going to get into a buy is if it pulls back to my mid-level. It's at my minor level right now, which is up here, which is where you could see price hit my minor level, bounce back up, gave me a headache, and came back down. Got another hour and 20 minutes. Let's see. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned, but the I was in an overall sell slash downtrend bias from market open until around 8:43. Around 8:43 is when it changed. However, as I've stated previously, even if my overall bias is an uptrend, I still take sales. And then I'll just ride the bias back up if price decides to turn back the other way, and vice versa. So right now I'm just waiting to see what things are going to look like when it comes back to my mid pullback level. I always trade with a minor, mid, and major level, and if I was to draw all three of them, this is where they are at the moment, but they are not static, they're dynamic, so they move. So I'll keep them on the chart for now. And typically what'll happen is when we get a new higher low, or if we're trading near the VWAP, I could typically draw a consolidation zone between either the new high and low or the VWAP, and I typically will draw it to my mid level. Sometimes I'll go as far as the major level, but if I just draw the consolidation like that, then I could typically, and I just crashed again. I don't know I typically do not have crash issues. And the high speeds that I have with my internet and also just the my hardware, it should not be crashing like this. I'm gonna have to see why it's oh no. Oh, okay. I thought it didn't save my stuff. I was gonna be upset. All right. I remember what that actually was. Okay, so I'm gonna put it back up on the screen. Man. Alright, so let me redraw these levels. And I have to see why it's crashing like this, because when I look in the log trace files, there's nothing that shows like, typically when I used to have crashing issues, it was the right lock deadlock issue. And for a long time, I kept telling Ninja that I felt like it was their Rinkos. They kept telling me it absolutely was not. It has to be other indicators you're using, blah, blah, blah. And then recently, someone from their support reached out and let me know that it was the Rinkos, because other people were having issues when I was, which is what I explained to them from the beginning in real time. So that part was like, come on, man, I tried to tell you that, but it's whatever. So yeah, I'm not sure. Hopefully I don't get any more freezing. See, I remember that was actually like 18 something. I could have sworn. Maybe not. Alrighty. So this is the trade I don't know if I want to take. So if I take this sale right now, my entry would be 55.75. I'm not really the biggest fan of this particular setup when it looks like this, when it kind of goes above and below my minor level. line, like closes on it and then closes on it coming right back. Not the biggest fan. Most of the time, I'll be able to see that it's not going to hold. But I really have been trying to figure out if I just want to not trade it. And I think I'm going to sit out of it. I am. And I'm not making this decision like off impulse or like a lot of people's trading issues have to do with psychological stuff. For me, the reason why I'm going to sit out of this sale if it does happen is simply because my back testing shows that this is kind of like a 50-50 situation. In most of my 50-50 situations, I've eliminated from my setups. So this is a setup I do like to see, but it's just the way it looks on my minor level that I don't like. And so what I'll typically see is the parameter that shows up on my chart to make me break even immediately. Either that will happen or I'll just lose it and then end up in a trade going in the opposite direction anyway. With what's showing on my chart right now, if this was happening at my mid level, I would be fine. But it's the fact that it's happening at the minor level that I don't like. So we'll track. And so I definitely would have to say in the trade right now. So let's track and see what happens. And if it wins, I'm okay with that. So I definitely would be in the trade. I'm not sure why this thing doesn't show properly when I do it this way. If it wins, it wins. I'm okay with that. And it won. So what I'm gonna have to do is probably, so I feel more confident in it, I'm gonna have to just backtest a little bit more, and that's okay with me. All right, so we just closed. I'm not looking to take any buys right now off of my mid-level. Only thing that sucks is I would definitely be back positive had I taken the trade, but that's okay. And I'll just have to make sure that I pay really close attention to what happens around there. But I'll make sure that I write in my trading journal, write that particular scenario. But I'm good so far. That would have been two nice sales back to back. We had the first one here off the new high, waited for a little bit of a retracement, and had the next sale there. That would have been two back to back really nice trades. Which I kind of figured the volatility would start picking up after the high impact news. I was right. It's moving a little bit more. Still pretty stagnant, but better movement. And I want to look at something in my trading journal. My notebook version. Yeah, so based on the trades that I have here, I should just trust that my exit parameters will show when they're supposed to. Because just even looking at my trade journal, the few times in the last week and a half that this showed up, it either won or, good morning, Granny, or my exit parameters showed up for me to break even. So, but again, I'm okay with that. My back is killing me. Oh, positions. I keep forgetting I have to reset it every time this thing crashes. I'll be right back. See, the market finally started moving again. My back is killing me. Oh, it's after 10 o'clock. I can't get into that one. So that's the problem. All right, I have to make sure I turn it back to normal. Looks like Streamlabs has my priority, has the priority set to above normal. I want to put it back to normal. I like everything to be normal except NinjaTrader. NinjaTrader, I like it on high. Using like 43% of my processor, 37% of my RAM. All right, so it's setting up for a buy right now. You can see I'm still trading between my levels. This is the buy that's setting up right now is the same exact. No, I'm not going to trade it. Actually, I will. We'll see. If it pulls back any further, I'm not going to be able to get into the trade. And there it is. So even if I would have gotten into that trade that I sat out of earlier, I would be up about, what is this? About $75. 65 on this account. And then 70 on that one, 75 on those. Market is completely slowing down right after 10 o'clock again. Let me save that. Actually, since the market is so slow, where's my pen? Go ahead and start filling out my trade journal. My minor level did move to here. All right, while I wait on that, Wait, was that really? Oh. All right, looking for sales right now. My entry would be 35.75. Just trying to push below my major level. Still an overall uptrend bias, but with it pushing off like this, we could start to see it go lower, or it could. And I'm going to break even. The what shows up on my chart when I go to break even just showed up again. I think it moved so fast I couldn't tell. So whenever that happens, I rather just get out and see what happens. So it opened and closed at the same exact level. So I just lost commissions there. If it goes and wins, I'm okay with that. I don't like to be iffy. Sometimes the market just moves a little too fast for me to like catch by eye what ended up happening. Yeah, and you can see the price is just going back and forth. All right, while that happens, let me go back. Finish writing in my trade journal. That actually hit my take profit. This is one of those days where I kind of expect it. I mean, it literally hit my take profit to a T because my entry was what 35.75 and my exit was 30.50, and it literally touched it and went. Now, I typically do still get filled. I know there's a lot of people who don't get filled like that, but that's also a reason why I make it to where my stop loss moves to break even when I'm one tick away from my take profit, just in case that ever happens. All right, so let's see. 1, 2. So far, all right, let's see something. Getting a pullback to the mid level right now. But I would close right on my major level, so I'm not going to take that. This is the major level here. Remember I told you I have an overall uptrend bias, so we came down, came back up off of it a little bit, came traded below it just a tiny bit, and just left it. So far, I think there were 2 times today where I wasn't sure if my break-even parameters hit or not, just because the charts were moving so fast at the time of the entry, and one of the trades would have lost the other one would have taken profit. So had I stayed in both of those, I would still basically be in the predicament that I'm in now as far as my P&L. Only thing that would change my P&L right now is if I would have taken that trade at 946 that I stayed out of. So I do like this setup. My only issue with it is like immediately I would have to hit the break even button because it would be hitting my major level, as my entry would be 44.25 and my major level's at 44. So I would like to see it push up a little bit more and then come back down. And that would pretty much be the only way that I would get into this trade right now. That gives it 3 ticks of room. Still not the biggest fan. Not the biggest fan, but it's hitting all the other parameters. I'm just gonna have to break even fast. And sometimes I'll still get in, as long as I have a couple of ticks of room, I'll still go ahead and get into it because a lot of times it just blasts through my major level. But then there's other times where it doesn't, like earlier. It was my third trade that I took. It hit that level, kept bouncing off of it, would have stopped me out, and then it went past it. So it's at 44. This is the mid level that I'm trying to trade off of right now. It's 3 ticks of wiggle room if it comes down and hits this entry at 44.75. It hurts. Trying to see if this upper VWAP level is actually going to hold it up. I should have just closed the damn thing. That's what I should have done. I should have closed the hit the close all button so that it didn't even trigger, because it would have broken even either way, and it didn't enter me until after I was past the level anyway. Am I still okay? I was trying to make sure I wasn't in any. That's why I like the positions tab and not the accounts tab. So I'm back at break even on these two accounts minus commissions. I do like this buy that's setting up though off of this level. If it doesn't continue to just push down. So we'll see about that. As long as my bar closes above this level, I'll get in for the buy. 44. If it goes down 2 more ticks, that's it. The entry is 44.75. But if the price comes down to, maybe we won't be coming down at all. Yes, no, maybe so. Having to break even so many times does get annoying, I'm not gonna lie. Price comes down to 34, that'll invalidate my setup for the buy. And I would then start looking for sales. I have 30 minutes left in the session. Jesus. All right, definitely not looking for buys anymore. It literally came up to my minor level. My minor and the major level were right next to each other. Came up to the minor level and just fell. 25 minutes. This is where I end for the day. I'll be alright with that. Ten, 12, 14, 16. Finally got the reversal up. I'm not looking for sales just yet though for the pullback. Let's see if anything happens in the next 20 minutes. I cannot wait until the holidays are over. This slow market is just, ugh. Like, this is the whole purpose of scalping, but you can't scalp because ain't nothing moving. All right, I'm currently looking for a buy as long as we close above 41.25. And as long as it happens before 11 o'clock. As long as we don't get down to 30.50. If we pull down to 30.50, it'll invalidate my setup. Let's see what happens. Still in an overall uptrend bias, but I am trading below my major level, which is here. I just took the line off the chart. It's there. Have about 7 ticks of wiggle room before I have to hit the break even button because it'll hit my major level. Oh, we do have an 11 o'clock news. I just started extending my session out this far, so I didn't even write the 11 o'clock news down, even though it's right here in my face. It's a lot of volume in this one candle. It's over 2,000 now. I need to look at something really quick. Okay, yeah, I did just forget to write it down. Entry is 42.25. If it decides to do anything in the next 15 minutes. This is just making me more sleepy than I already was. Oh, goodness. And I have to break even. Ugh. I hate it. I hate it. Alright, it just hit my major level. Let's see if it would have came back down from here anyway. But I had to do it. 3. See what? Gosh, I had a feeling that was gonna happen. It's so annoying. Would have broke even no matter what. Hit the major level right here. Came right back down to my entry. That makes me feel a little bit better about it. Alright. And I just lost a couple more dollars in commissions. That's the thing that sucks so bad about having to break even is when, you know, the market hits your limit order so fast you get the slippage and now you just lost an extra money in commissions when you didn't really have to, but it is what it is. All right, I got 11 minutes left. Let's see what happens. Overall, what is this? Between the 4 accounts, I'm down about $142. I'm okay with that. Honestly, because really I should be up like, what is it, about $65 to $70 anyways. It's whatever. The biggest thing for me is I don't want my P&Ls to swing very heavily from day to day. Like, one of the things that I didn't like as I was creating my strategy over the last year is that the various forms of my strategy, I've had to tweak over time because I didn't like the fact that, like, okay, my P&L for the week or my P&L for the month is great. However, the swings between the P&L on a daily basis, I wasn't comfortable with. Some people are comfortable with it. I'm not. I don't want to see $1,000 day profit and then a $400 loss the next day, then $200 win the next day, then a $300 loss the next day, and then a $1,500 day on the fifth day. I don't like that. I do not stop myself when I see a certain profit, or do not stop myself when I see a certain loss. And the only reason I do that is because the market, you have to trade what the market gives you. Your setup could be great, your strategy could be great, but because you took a loss the first two trades, now you're done for the day, but your next 5 trades could have been wins and you just lost for no reason. Or you stop at a $200 profit for the day and you had 5 more setups and you could have ended at $1,000. And I also don't believe that you could really truly know your edge unless you take every single valid setup in whatever time frame session you've created. That's really the only way to know. That's just my personal opinion. So my biggest goal is just to trade like a robot, not allow my emotions, whether I'm up a lot of money or down a lot of money, not allow my emotions to cause me to not take trades I'm supposed to take, or to take trades that are not valid. That's the only thing I care about. Because I know what the results of my trading strategy should be based off of back testing. I know that when the market slows down around the holidays, it's not going to be as great, but that's what's most important for me. So the constant break even days that I have, or when I constantly have to break even within a day, it's annoying, don't get me wrong. But my back testing shows that I need to do that, because if I don't, I'm going to lose more money than I need to. So like today, my break-even parameter showed up twice. I was able to break even on both of them. One of them would have broke even, one of them would have lost. The other two, I'm not sure if it showed up or not because the bars painted so fast on the Renko and my eyes didn't catch it. So I just went ahead and broke even just to be safe. Well, one of them won, one of them lost. So had I not gone ahead and just broken even when I needed to, I would be down more than just basically commissions right now, because it would be 1 win, 2 losses, and a break even. We got 7 minutes left of the session. I highly doubt anything sets up between now and then. I have a pullback at my mid-level. The mid-level is here. However, because of the way it closed on my minor level down here, I'm not going to take a trade coming back into it. Should be, let's see, does it say? Ooh, I think I'm missing a trade. 902, 1013. I am missing a trade in my journal. I don't know how I did that. So we traded below my major level for actually longer than I expected. I do want to. Pull back. See his credit. Oh, that one doesn't count anyway. Alright, we got 2 minutes left. No setups are happening for me. I was initially looking for a buy off of the major level, but I don't like the way it looks, and I highly doubt it even goes up there in the next minute and a half anyway. I need to look at a couple of things. Probably do that later. Got a minute left. All right, and that's the end of the session. So let's do a quick recap. Probably starting next week, I'm gonna do actual video recaps, but since I'm just starting out, not till next week or the week after. All right, so total loss for the day is 142.36. Still positive on this particular account that just started this week, so I'm happy about that. The other accounts are all still above the initial balance, so I'm good there. I do have, so on the two $25,000 accounts, the amount that you see here in the negative, that's what I lost in drawdown. So not too bad because we were at the 1500 before the session started, just at 1463 and 1468 for those two. Not bad. So overall, I'm happy with today. I have no issues with today. Um, Especially considering I would have been slightly positive had I taken that one trade that I decided to stay out of. But I'm cool. One of the things that I'm most excited about is that my strategy seems to work in really volatile markets as well as the consolidating slow volatility type of markets as well. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching the video at whatever point in the future you're watching the video, and I will be back